love that song. And you know what? There's a lot of truth in it. You know, life is plastic. I found that out about a few months ago when I started working at this ecology lab. We work with like little fish and shrimps and things like that, and I got to do my first ever stomach content check. So I cut open this little fish, it was a goby, and I squeeze its stomach juice onto a tray, and I look at it under the microscope, and there's a lot in there. There's like plants, smaller fish. You look really, really close, you can see the single-celled organisms like diatoms. But when I looked really close like that, I also saw a bright blue speck. And I thought I made a new scientific discovery. Turns out it's microplastics. And it's not fantastic. So today I want to talk to you guys about our current relationship with plastic, the consequences that we are inevitably going to face because of it, and things that we can do at this very point to kind of slow that course down, right? So if you want to, if I were to visualize our current situation with plastic, it's kind of like an 18-wheeler going 100 miles per hour on like I-90 and getting faster, and he doesn't have brakes. So you're like, we need to do something to stop that guy. It's gonna kill people. It's gonna suck to stop him, but like it has to happen, right? So plastic was invented in 1860 by this guy named Alexander Parks. It's called Parkazine, that's what he called it. It was like the first ever polymer type thing, like unnatural polymer. Anyways, and now at this point we make 380 million metric tons of plastic a year approximately. And to put that in perspective, if you were to gather every human on Earth currently and weigh them in a big group, it would be about 380 million tons. So just as much plastic made every year as humans exist on Earth. So that's great. That's awesome to hear. Where does that plastic go? Currently, we have little to no ways of reusing or disposing of plastic. And you might be thinking, no, nuh-uh, I recycle all of my plastic. Well, so the funny thing about companies is that they like to do everything the cheapest way possible, right? So all these plastics that you have, they're the cheapest kind of plastic, and they can't be recycled because the polymers just break down, and it's bad. 90% of plastic that you put in those recycling bins can't be recycled because it's shitty plastic. So that's awesome. It actually ends up, a lot of it, in the oceans, and it's like a bowl that you stir, everything kind of like comes together in the middle, if that makes any sense. And there's these giant patches of garbage about 2 feet thick that cover an area that, like, the size of Texas. Texas, y'all, that's big. Texas is big. That's a lot of plastic. But yeah, so why does that matter? You know, I'm not gonna sit here and show you that same picture of the turtle with the Coke ring around his neck. Like, we don't care. But that's far away from you guys, right? It's closer than you think, actually. If you're watching this, there's a good chance, it's more than likely actually, than not, that you have plastic in your bloodstream. It's in your blood. Yeah, a group of scientists recently, like a year ago, they studied a bunch of samples, and they found microplastics in 70% of the samples that they took. And like, why do we care? You know, it's just plastic in my blood, whatever. Well, plastic, we know, and we have known for a while, it releases carcinogens, cancer-causing chemicals. That's fun. What's even funner, though, that's not a word, is that these microplastics are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier. So it's getting in your brain, right? And what's even better is that these chemicals can also disrupt your endocrine system, your hormones, so like the things that make you happy, sad, angry, horny. Plastics causing erectile dysfunction, I draw the fucking line, okay? You don't even have to worry about it, right? Because even if you were to make babies, plastic causes infertility. So, and even if that baby was to survive, they found microplastics in fetuses and in placentas too. So, At this point, you might be feeling a little bit hopeless, right? Maybe anxious. You're like, oh my God, I don't want plastic piñatas for a kid. Me neither. But this quote I found on Google says, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and hopefully change the ending, by C.S. Lewis. So here's a few things that I do on a day-to-day basis to kind of reduce my plastic usage. First of all, recycling still, even though it's not the best option, it's still a good option, so I recommend you guys. On UL campus, all the dorms have recycling bins. Just keep an extra plastic bag and recycle what you can. Why not? 10% is better than 0%. But before you throw away or recycle your plastic, use it a bunch, you know what I mean? This Taco Bell cup, I've been using it for a week. It's still fine. I just rinse it out and reuse it. It doesn't break down. That's kind of its downfall, but use it. Also, one of the biggest plastic contributors is grocery bags. It's not straws, okay? You don't have to worry about the paper straws. They fucking suck. Just get a metal straw. But more importantly, get a reusable grocery bag. They're like $5 and they're nice. Your eggs won't fall out. That sucks. Eggs are expensive. This is a win-win for me. Anyways, single-use plastics are and will continue to affect our livelihood and our chance of survival as a species if we don't do something about it. And this damage that it is causing, we have no way of controlling or monitoring. So if you can, just be mindful of your use of plastic, your purchases, and how you dispose of and use those plastics. And I hope this helped you have a little bit more awareness on plastic.